Beacons are incredibly useful. They are used to give you haste to instant mine stone and get an awful lot of the stuff really quickly. They can be used to give you regeneration so you don't die when you're AFK hitting some stuff. They can be used to give you jump boost and speed around your base just for convenience. They can be used for an awful lot of things, but the problem is they're a bit of a pain to get. But I've put together a farm today that once the massive grind is to build the farm is over, you won't have to worry about getting beacons ever again, because this farm produces, as you can see behind me, wither skeletons. So essentially, if I fly up to this farm really quickly, I've just used my free camera. If I fly up to this farm, you can see that it is 3 17 by 17 block platforms with some piglins in the middle here, as you can see. Now these have been name tagged and they will not despawn. For those who don't know, wither skeletons pathfind towards piglins and kill them. Now I've used a good old trapdoor trick here to allow any mobs that pathfind towards this piglin to drop down into that area, because mobs think that this trapdoor is a solid block. Very helpful for us. Now the other trick that I've employed here is wither skeletons whenever there's a wither rose down, one of these things, if I can middle click it, apparently not, a wither rose, the only mob that's allowed to spawn on a wither rose are mobs that are unaffected by the wither effect, i.e. wither skeletons. So only wither skeletons can spawn on this here platform. That's incredibly useful because it means that only wither skeletons can spawn on all of these platforms. But the other thing is, well, wither skeletons don't just spawn anywhere in the nether, they have to spawn in a fortress. So this area here is a 10 block high, and then a 17 by 17 area, which is the bounding box for a crossroads of a nether fortress. I'll show one of those off in a little bit. But essentially, this is just the crossroads of a nether fortress, which is the most efficient place to put a farm for wither skeletons. So I have slapped this little farm here together. Now if I just jump back into myself, fly down here and set myself to survival, throw all this stuff away and just start hitting these guys, you'll see that I will get some wither skulls incredibly quickly as soon as they just decide to die. Give it a second. So as you can see, I've only killed without looting, wither skeletons can drop up to, I think, 3 bones. So at most, I've killed 12 wither skeletons. I've already got a wither skeleton skull, and it's only been about a minute. If I just keep killing these guys, you'll see that they'll keep dropping their loot, and all I have to do is either put a hopper in here or run around every now and then and pick it all up. So that's what I'm going to keep doing. There's the second one that you just saw pop into my inventory. It's a really incredibly quick farm because, you know, all the spawning spaces in the entire world around me are taken up by just that area up there. So only where the skeletons will spawn in the entire mob cap. So already I've almost got enough for a beacon, and that's without looting on my sword. So here we are at a slightly different fortress out in the middle of the nether, and as you can see, this one's actually been properly generated. I haven't messed with the world at all. So essentially, this is what I meant by a crossroads. You can see there's a road coming in like this and a road going like this. Actually, I think we're not. But yeah, this is one of the crossroads, and this is what we use to get that 17 by 17 by 10 area. So if you didn't know, the bounding box is about here, goes out like this. This is just rough. I'm pretty sure I've got it wrong, but it's a 17 by 17 area surrounding this middle point here. And then it can also go for a total of 10 blocks. So this is the middle point here, this one. This block here. The one I'm constantly replacing. That's the middle point. And essentially you can go 5 blocks up and 5 blocks down for a total of 10 blocks, and it's a 17 by 17 area. So that will be where the wither skeletons can spawn, and that's the most efficient place to spawn some wither skeletons. Now, the other thing is, you probably noticed that there was nothing else around me in the world. That's because I cleared everything out. Essentially, you need to isolate all the spawning spaces in the entire world, or in your entire spawning sphere, to to isolate all the wither skeletons or all the mob spawns in your farm and then have only wither skeletons drop out the bottom. So to do that, you can do what I did in this demonstration, which is just remove the entire world, or you can go around and you can place slabs or butts. So if I grab a slab, any slabs, buttons, levers, all of those things, place on every spawnable block within like 120 block radius will work. So I would choose a fortress like this where there isn't too much around. Like you can see there's no mobs spawning over here or anything. Over in that area, they're only spawning over here. So I'd choose I'd choose a fortress like this that's out in the middle of the lava lake and build your farm out here. So you have to do as little work as possible, removing the rest of the world. But that's really all I've got for today. I'm going to pop over to the farm and do my outro over there. Well, that's really all I've got to say for this video. Now, I'm just going to reiterate this. This is a 17 by 17 platform, and there's 3 of them that are spaced 3 blocks apart. You've got wither roses on the platforms, 1 trapdoor which has your drop chute of walls that drops right down to a platform with a hay bale on it. Now, the hay bale's important. If the hay bale wasn't there, they'd all just die instantaneously because you're just far enough away that they drop down and die if it's a normal block. So put the hay bale there. It'll take a little bit longer to kill them, but that's okay. And then you've got this piglin right in the center of the square. So if I just fly up a bit, it's smack bang in the middle. You're surrounded by trapdoors so that nothing can get in. And then have this will essentially force all the wither skeletons to pathfind over to your piglin. So that's the entire farm. And that's all I've really got for you in today's video. Now this farm, I can't be credited for kind of figuring out this design is mine, like with the cobblestone wall drop chutes, but the first person to kind of figure out the wither rose mechanic, it was probably one of the Scicraft guys like Ilmango or Gnembon. They're probably the first person to put together a farm like this, but I've improved it, and as you can see, there's an awful lot of wither skeletons down here. Anyway, that's all I've got time for in this video. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and have a good one.